Hello, たるみ先
は
生。おはよ
い、おはようございます。
うございます。
はい、元気
元気です。お元気ですか？
元気ですよ。So, first of all, congratulations on your completion of level one and then studying level two and three. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Rambu-san, thank you so much for joining with me. And おめでとうございます。Like level one completing. So, how do you feel? どうですか？
Yeah, I feel really rewarded and accomplished. I feel like Asako sensei did a really good job coaching me. I feel like she really understood my goals. I feel like the reason why I really love this program is because she was a huge support in reaching my goals and helping me progress through it. I was always like transparent as well with my struggles and when I felt unmotivated, and she was
うん。
really good at encouraging me and allowing me to not give up, you know. So yeah, I feel really great overall with my progress of how well I can hold a conversation now in Japanese.
Amazing. So, people actually curious about why you're doing this, why you're learning Japanese. So, can you share with me why you're learning Japanese?
I'm actually a pastor at a church. I don't know if you knew that, but my long-term goal is to be able to preach the Bible in Japanese. And so a lot of it just starts
Mhm.
with relationships, right? It's not just about me wanting to say an agenda. It's about me wanting to build relationships with people. And I believe the best way to do that is through the gospel. And so again, Asako Sensei really understands my goals and has been a huge support in allowing me to reach that big long-term accomplishment or achievement.
Amazing. I'm not like actually know about all the church things. So can you tell me like if you actually speak Japanese, what is the things you'd like to be able to do or what kind of things you want to contribute to the society in Japan?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things, just from what I've researched and learned, is you know how isolation can just be an issue, right? I think sometimes the church can have a scary connotation or a negative meaning,
Mm,
but one
mm,
of the
mm,
most
mm,
beautiful things is it brings community and it brings family, you know,
mm,
because we have our own family, but what's really sweet is people who don't judge you, people who love you, people who understand you, because the mind of Jesus is like this servant-hearted mind. And so
mm.
what I want to contribute is I want to serve the community. I want to be there for people. I want to help them. I want to be able to encourage them the way Asako Sensei has encouraged me and really just love on them well, you know, without an agenda, but love them for and respect them the way that they should be, you know. So
Mhm,
that's really
mhm.
like one of the biggest things I want to contribute when I'm able to move to the country.
Definitely. And then, there are so many countries in the world, and why you specifically chose Japan?
I don't know if this will make sense, but I was not thinking about Japan at all. I think there were
Mm,
just lots of opportunities
mm,
where I believe God was opening doors for me to step
mm,
through. For example, we would take trips, you know, mission trips
mm,
where we
mm,
would
mm,
serve the
mm,
community and serve the local churches in Japan. And I wasn't planning on taking any of these, but people kept reaching out to me and say, "Hey, would you consider doing this?" And
mm,
as I prayed about it, they just made a way, even financially. You know, it can be expensive to do like a week-long trip and do all these
mm,
activities, but financially everything kept getting provided for, and even the timelines, you know, even with work, you know, getting the days off, everything. So I think it became clear that that's where I believe God wanted me to go to Japan, is because I wasn't seeking after it, and He just kept pushing me through,
mm.
and I just kept saying yes.
Wow, it's like a fate, destiny for you.
と思います。
I'm very just personally curious, when you went to Japan for the first time, because you didn't expect that to really visit Japan and doing this. So, what was your first impression about Japan?
Yeah, I mean, my first impression was that it was beautiful. Like the
Mm,
trees, the layout, how clean it was. I liked how everything was orderly and structured. Of course, you know, everyone was so kind as a foreigner, right? And I think no one was rude. If I got lost in the trains and I tried to ask for directions, they were so kind to help. So I think my first impression was that I really just kind of love at first sight almost. And I had to be careful because I didn't want to just go to Japan because I loved it so much. You know, I really wanted it to be from the Lord. But if I honestly could choose to live anywhere, it would be Korea. Korean's just my favorite food, and I love Korean people. So
mm. Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. What do you think? Like before visiting Japan Language Factory, what kind of things you have tried for learning Japanese? And then something like you face some problem or difficulty. What was your experience before visiting us?
Yeah, I think I had a tough time having a proper study method, like how I would
Mm,
be disciplined, you know? And I think your method of like listening and imitating and then just practicing and then, having a bilingual mindset when I'm watching through the videos, I think that's really structured my discipline and allowing me to progress at the rate that I've been progressing in because it is simple and it works well, right? Sometimes simple is more, simple is better. And I've
that's
recognized that
true.
when I speak Japanese with a lot of the people in my church and even in like local Japanese restaurants, right? So before studying was all over the place, but now I feel like it's very narrow and focused, and I'm really
Mm,
grateful for that.
amazing. Can you tell me like what kind of things you have tried and you from your perspective why it didn't feel like you're making progress in speaking?
Yeah, definitely. I use the Genki textbooks for a little bit. That the reason why that one was hard was just because it felt unrewarding. It felt long. It felt like I couldn't really apply it, and I didn't
Mm,
understand how to apply it. I used a couple of apps. One was good, Pimsleur. I feel like that one was good because, like, I mean, as I'm practicing with Asako Sensei,
mm,
I need to hear more and more just Japanese. So I feel like
mhm,
that aspect of constantly listening is
mhm,
important,
mhm,
but without like actually then speaking it, it's not as significant. And then of course like Duolingo wasn't really helpful. I think the only reason Duolingo is helpful is because I'll go on the hiragana and katakana, and that's like the only
mm,
thing I'm studying, and that's it. So I feel
mm.
like apart from that, like you can't really grow, you can't really grow in learning the language until you take a more serious commitment and a decision in your heart that this is something you want to focus on.
Exactly. So, yeah. So you visited Japan Language Factory like it was almost 6, 7 months ago, first time. So you mentioned these things, you have been struggling. Really, you are not confident in the making sentences, or you're not sure
Mm.
if you're even saying friendly or rude or something like that's tonality thing. So can you tell me like your overall experience of Japan Language Factory?
My overall experience with Japan Language Factory has been nothing short of amazing because you guys are so patient and you work really well, I'm sure, with all your clients, with all your students. And I love that we get to decide the pace because life can be so busy and lots of events go on, but you guys still work with us in a way that is the most beneficial for our progress. And so I feel like that's why I decided to take levels 2 and 3 because even when I do move to Japan, I can still continue my training, wherever it is. So it's really practical if somebody wants to take this, make a decision. And just like the classes itself, the quality is great. So I'm sure I haven't tried any of your other coaches because I just love Asako-san so much. So not know if not that I don't want any other coaches, but she's just
Mhm.
so amazing. But I'm sure like if her quality looks like that, I'm sure the rest of the coaches are similar. I think it's just finding the right coach that you really connect with, that really understands you is important. And that's why I continue to stay and go for levels 2 and 3. It's not just the content, but it's because of the coach that I decided to move forward. So
Amazing. I'm really glad to hear. And so lastly, there are thousands of people this year, especially 2025. It's a lot of things going on. So there are many options to learn. You're just confused what to start. But it's every day you have to work or you have something to do and they don't feel like progressing something. Can you give us any advice to what to start, to what to do today?
yeah, I think one important part is because I understand everyone is busy. It is
Mm,
important to set small goals that are achievable and make you feel rewarded in your heart,
mm,
Like you said, like Japanese is one of the hardest languages in the world. And so you need to continue to be fueled by some sort of passion that allows you to keep moving forward in a way that is effective, that is enjoyable, that's fun, but also rewarding. So I think setting small goals is a good start. And then you just have to practice. Like you really have to be disciplined to say, even if I don't feel like it, I need to practice and find
mm,
people who you can speak Japanese with. I want to go to the group sessions. I'm just very shy. I
mhm,
know I don't need to be, but I am. But I also have a big Japanese community here in Las Vegas. So I am
mm.
practicing Japanese.
Really?
Yes,
Big
yes.
community in Las Vegas. That's so interesting.
Yes, yes, yes. So many Japanese here. So I'm constantly speaking Japanese. So, at one part, if I didn't have that, I would for sure say I need a group session. I need people to speak with,
Mm,
because one of the reasons I've also seen how beneficial this class is because I go out in
mm,
the real world and I practice exactly what I'm saying with people and they teach me more. And I'm
mm,
like, wow, this works. And then I feel good about myself that, all the time and everything I'm investing into it is paying off. So you need that. You need
mm.
that payoff. You need to know it's working. That's what I believe would be great next steps for somebody trying to start off.
One request, because you said it's you're shy, and I have keep seeing people actually shy to really try to speak Japanese. How did you overcome this shyness, or like don't want to make a mistake in front of people?
I think I'm still learning that answer. I think I really have to mentally prepare myself. And like before I even start speaking Japanese, it takes a lot out of me to be like, okay, I'm gonna do it, So to commit
Mm,
and then to be okay with failure. I think it's like a mentally preparation, like be
mm,
okay with looking like an idiot. I know I'm not, I
mm,
know they're patient with
mm,
because the same way a Japanese person would speak English, I don't see them as an
mm,
idiot. I'm like,
mm,
oh no, I'm blessed that they're trying to speak my language. So I'm sure it goes
mm,
both ways. So I think it's just mentally ridding myself of that block of how they
mm.
view me and just going for it and building as much confidence before the conversation as possible will really help.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. Thank you so much. That's true. Right. Thank you so much, Ramses-san. It was amazing advice and amazing feedback. Thank you so much. And then I'm gonna definitely see you on the level 2 when we finish, and then level 3. So keep it up.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. ありがとうございました。